back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side girl, and today we're doing my February audiobook wrap-up. So just in case you missed it, I did my February reading wrap-up yesterday. I'll put that up here in the cards if you guys want to go and check it out first. But for now, these are all of the audiobooks I listened to for February. So I listened to a total of 6 audiobooks for February, so pretty typical reading month for me, but I got through some things and I'm really excited to talk about them. So first I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I didn't enjoy that much. The first one is The Memory Wall. This book is by Lev Rosen and narrated by Prentice Onayemi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This book and the next book I'm going to talk about I read because I'm going to be doing a video game, virtual reality game type video coming out probably in the summer, so I'm trying to get a few under my belt before I talk about that one. So it's kind of a random grab, and of course with the video game controller on the front and everything, I decided to pick it up. So this is about a young boy, I can't remember his name and feel terrible about that, and he is really going through some hard times. His mom has an incident at the school that he attends and she has been diagnosed with a particular illness. I don't know if they specify it, but basically it's kind of like a memory loss type of situation, and he strongly believes that she has been misdiagnosed. And so that's part of half of the book, and then the other half is there's this really popular video game that comes out kind of every few years, and he used to play with his mom and she was really into it as well, and he's really into it, and you have to be fully immersed in the world, and you can't break character and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it was kind of like reminded me of World of Warcraft was kind of the vibe that I was getting from it. And he's really excited about this game coming out, but in the midst of this, they're like actually taking his mom to a home, and so he's very upset and very angry with his family. So there is kind of like this mysterious quality to this book, and I was hoping for a little bit more magical, fantastical video game, magical surrealism fun. And this one was definitely pretty much just a contemporary with a boy playing video games. And I've come to realize that these are the type of video games that I don't really like. Obviously, I'm not a big contemporary fan. I've talked about that quite a bit. A lot of contemporaries I really love, but I'm very, very particular about what I like and how I like it. This one definitely was more slow. The narrator was really good. I did enjoy like his narration style and everything. But overall, I just didn't love this book. There are sections that you're getting where you're completely immersed in the world and you're following his character, Severikin, I think was his name, and him meeting people, and then him also interacting with people in school who play the game, and that part's really fun. I do like it when they kind of go back and forth because the audiobook narrator kind of changes his voice for like the characters that he's playing and stuff like that. That was kind of similar to Guy in Real Life that I listened to in January. But overall, the whole of the story and the wrap-up wasn't my favorite thing. I feel like a lot of people are really going to like this because it's very heartfelt and emotional and delves into a lot of topics with illness and things like that. It just wasn't really what I was looking for. So overall, I gave this one 3.5 stars. Next, we're going to talk about Arena by Holly Jennings. So I picked this one up because I've been looking at it for forever, and I found this one at Dollar Tree not too long ago, which is really exciting. It's been on my list for a while. So we have this cool girl with her blue hair and her shield, and I was really hoping for more of a Warcross type situation. And this one is narrated by Erin Spencer, who overall I think did a really decent job. I enjoyed her as a narrator quite a bit. So this is an adult novel, and there are adult topics and themes in here. Trigger warnings for drugs and suicide and things like that. This is about our main character, Callie Ling, and she is a part of the Virtual Gaming League, and she takes part in the Rage tournaments. And so this is kind of set like a little bit more in the future. It's kind of reminding me of like Twitch, where people play video games and watch them and stuff like that. So she has actually become like a celebrity gamer, and it's become like a way bigger deal, and so they have these like events kind of like the Olympics but for video games, but she actually has to train like in real life and things too, like physical combat and stuff like that, because I think it's all virtual, so I think they use their bodies. And she has become one of the celebrities for them, and she has to like do all the things and have like press meetings and all that kind of stuff, which sounds really, really cool. So she becomes the first captain for this league, and it becomes kind of a big deal, but she's kind of dealing with a lot of emotional things that are happening and also kind of uncovering some things about the tournament are maybe not so good. I feel like, again, a lot of people are going to love this. This was a lot more, again, contemporary than what I was wanting. I kind of like being thrown into the virtual or gaming world a little bit more than I do learning about the characters' lives. And there are a lot of topics revolving around like drugs and suicide and abuse and drinking and all kinds of things like that I just didn't love, and it was kind of heavy on that subject. So not my favorite. I probably will be unhauling this one. I don't think I'm going to read the next one, even though it kind of had a cool ending. It took quite a while to get through. Overall, still like a 3-star read, but again, not my favorite. Then I listened to The Last of August and A Case for Jamie, both by Brittany Cavallaro, both narrated by Graham Halstead. And I can't remember the other narrator's name, but it'll be right here in the description. So these are the second and third book in the Charlotte Holmes series. I read A Study in Charlotte this fall and really enjoyed it. So this is like a twist on Sherlock Holmes. So we have a female Sherlock and a traditional male Watson. They're the ancestors from the Sherlock and the Watson family, and you also get ancestors from the Moriarty family, and you get all the back history on that. So it was a very nice blend of the whole Sherlock universe, and I really, really enjoyed the first book. I think I liked this one, I think the least in the series. I think it was this one. Overall, I think that they're really fun. They're very mysterious. You get kind of a new mystery per each book, but then also kind of like a bigger overall mystery as Jamie and Charlotte kind of become friends and kind of romantically involved and learn more about each other. Charlotte is very Sherlock Holmes-esque, and she is very selfish and very kind of in her own world, but also very kind and loyal. And so I can't say too much about these two books because they're the next in the series, but I do think this one was my least favorite overall. The only thing that I'm not loving about this series, and I almost DNF'd this book, is a young adult series, but there are a lot of topics involving around like drugs and drug abuse. There's also trigger warnings for like rape and suicide and stuff like that. These are YA, so it's much, much lighter, and it's not good, doesn't go into gritty detail or anything like that. I just didn't love like all of the drug related content in these books, and I think that's some criticism that they have got in the past. But overall, I am kind of attached to the characters, and I do kind of want to see where they wrap up, and I've only got one book left, which I think is The Question of Holmes, and so I do kind of want to see where they wrap up. They have some nice twists and turns. If you like mysteries and you like Sherlock Holmes, I think you should give them a shot for sure. This one was a 3-star read for me, and A Case for Jamie was a 3.5 star. And lastly, I reread Cruel Prince and The Wicked King, both by Holly Black, both narrated by Caitlin Kelly. I reread both of these in anticipation for Queen of Nothing, so I'm all ready to go. So let's talk about Cruel Prince first. So I had the exact same feelings about these books that I did the first time, which was awesome because it just totally solidified my feelings and they weren't skewed by anything. I think that this book is a good book. I just didn't understand how crazy intensely hyped it was when I read it. I was expecting it to be a lot different than it was. There's a lot of bullying in here and things which I didn't enjoy. The romance is not that great in my opinion. I do love our lead character Jude. I think she's feisty and fun. I like the background of this story. So if you're not familiar, Jude was 7 when her and her sisters were stolen away to the world of fairy and to be around the high court, and like her now dad that has taken her he's kind of a big political figure and general in the fairy world. And so she kind of grows up learning a lot about like war and politics, and she's like kind of really, really into it. And it's just kind of a whole world about intermingling like fairies and humans, and her struggling to grow up in the fairy world and being picked and taunted on and blah, blah, blah. So I really like it. It's still pretty close to a 4-star, like maybe just a hair under. I enjoy it. I just didn't understand the crazy hype, and I go in very open-minded. Like I don't go in to hyped books being like, I'm gonna judge you so I can see if it's really worth it. I don't do that. I just kind of go in, I'm like, let's see how this goes. And I did like it, but I didn't think it was quite as intense as everyone suggested. However, this book is phenomenal. This gave me what I wanted from Cruel Prince. Plus we get some underwater fairy courts, and you guys know that I am all about that. So that was really, really exciting. The romance is better in here. The angst is better in here. The girl power is better in here. The fairy courts are cool. The things that happen, the different places we get to go. And I really like this one. I like it even more upon rereading it. It took me a little bit to get through Cruel Prince on audio this time. With this one, I flew through, and it got me real stoked for Queen of Nothing because it solidified that I do really love this series. I just don't love the first book, but that's okay. The second books always tend to be my favorite. So, really liked it. So this one is more of a 4.5 star. And Caitlin Kelly does a fabulous, fabulous job on audio. I can't wait to listen to more from her. So I'm really excited for Queen of Nothing now. I plan to start that in March, so just stay tuned. I can't wait. I'm doing Audiobookathon right now, so I can't do it like right this second, but I might squeeze it in if I have time. Anyway, that's all I listened to. I was really surprised and disappointed by some things. I didn't get ahead on my TBR too much because a couple things I reread, but I am finishing up some series because I'm almost done with That Charlotte Holmes. I'm almost done with Cruel Prince, and then I've got some other things I'm wrapping up. I'm going to try and wrap up something or get close to wrapping up something every month, and I'll have a video about my unfinished series coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. Let me know if you guys listen to anything great in February. I love audiobooks, and I'll try just about anything on audiobook because it's much easier to get through. So let me know what you guys are listening to for the month of March as well, and I'll see you guys next time on The Bright Side.